Hi, hello there, and welcome to our hands-on video with Dark Souls 2, Scholar of the First Sin. I'm Matt, Digital Spies Gaming Editor, and I'm joined, as always, by Ben Lee.
Hello, Matt.
Hi, Ben. How are you doing today?
Yeah, okay. How about you?
I'm very good. I'm ready to praise the sun for a second time, or maybe, yeah, a second time, I suppose, if this is like a re-release of Dark Souls 2. This is the PS4 version we're playing. Dark Souls 2 has been given like a re-release on next-gen platforms and again on PC for DirectX 11. Scholar of the First Sin. It's basically at base level, it's basically the same, getting re-released, visual in your upgrades, all the DLC packaging, all that sort of thing. But there also there's a big update that's actually free for all versions of the game if you got it on 360 or PS3, where it adds, it just rejigs everything. So I'm stuck behind this rock. There you go. It rejigs like enemy placements. It changes up, it adds new weapon location, weapon and equipment to find. It rejigs some of the shortcuts. There's a new ending. There's a new boss. Actually, there's quite a lot done to the game. So it's probably if you really
quite radical sort of update then, I guess.
Yeah, and if you like Dark Souls 2, then it's a good excuse to go back. It's not just like, oh, it's just a visual upgrade, a new lick of paint. This is very much like, hey, there's something different. But at least that's kind of the way I perceive it. The game is only just releasing at the time of this video recording. A few reviews out there, so not a lot of people have got a deep hands-on with this new version. But yeah, we're just going to basically play through the first hour or so. I think the objective for me is to get to the first boss, which is the last giant, and just basically see what's different along the way, and just see how well I remember this game.
Because you've finished it?
No, actually, so I loved the original Dark Souls. It was my favourite game of last generation, and I played it a bunch. And Dark Souls 2, I think, is like better than 99% of the games out there, but it just wasn't quite as good as the first Dark Souls. So I've been slowly working my way through it for a little while. So basically, just to quickly explain, this is like right at the start of the game after the first bonfire. This is like kind of like a training area. This is one of the big changes with Dark Souls 2, is that it was like kind of like it tutorialized the game a bit better and made it kind of a bit more self-explanatory rather than Dark Souls, where it just threw you in the deep end. But if you know what you're doing, like I've played Dark Souls and Dark Souls 2 before, you can just walk all past it. So we're just going to go through here and go to... Does this go straight to Medulla? I can't remember. Let's find out. But it should do. But you can already tell, like, yeah, there's a visual upgrade here. It runs a lot smoother, looks a lot...
The lighting looks quite good.
Yeah, it's a lot prettier.
This just reminds me of Tomb Raider. The opening bit where you come out of the cave and then...
That's a very good point. I've never actually put those two things together, but yeah, you're right. That is a good comparison. But yeah, this is kind of like your... So one of the things actually one of my complaints with Dark Souls 2 is how it's structured quite differently to the original. Dark Souls 1 and playing through Bloodborne now, they're both kind of like more like a spider web, where they're kind of like a linear progression where you're going from one area to the next, but it just feels like everywhere's a lot more intertwined. Like there's a lot more shortcuts going back and forth, and it feels just a bit more like an organic process of exploring.
Yeah.
But with Dark Souls 2, you have this hub world, this Medulla village, which is a beautiful place. It's got some really interesting little nooks and crannies to it. Every area kind of just like shoots off linearly in kind of like just like these branches, and then once you've explored, like, say, the 3 areas in that branch, you go back to here, to the next one. So it's not quite a organic kind of, and just free flow exploration. It just feels a bit more gamey, I suppose. It feels like you just constantly go back here. So I just really like this bonfire. Bonfire lit. So it's been a while since I actually played this, so I'm not too sure. So to show you the fast travel. Yeah, Things with Twix is where I started. The start of the game just seems exactly the same so far. I haven't seen any major changes to this game. I don't know how... It's one of those things I don't know how big an upgrade and change they've made to the gameplay tweaks and stuff. Yeah, there's NPCs and stuff. So I think the aim of this... So we've got like a... I think we're going to try and get as far as the last giant boss. So this is not the right way. I'm just going to quick look around. I'm just quickly checking if there's the killer pigs here. These are really...
Killer pigs? They kill you?
Yeah, they're right. See,
right.
Quite intelligent, and they're just relentless, and they'll keep chasing. So I remember, like, the first time I encountered them, I ran round to the shopkeeper here, and was just like chopping as you usually do, and they're just ambushed me and killed me. So I think he's chasing. Yeah.
Reminds me of chickens in Zelda.
Yeah, that's you're doing well with comparisons today, Ben. But yeah, that is no spot on comparison to that is a different area, so I'm not going to go there.
I guess they won't continue chasing you if you get far enough or like go into a different area.
Yeah, I hope so.
Although I can't imagine they'd be that hard to kill.
No, they are quite tough.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
They got a lot of health.
I think so. I can't quite remember. Or I think they just attacked me so much. I think I remember having to chat with this guy very briefly. This poor soul here. Let's skip through that.
Looks pretty depressed.
Yeah, he's... as with all these kind of videos, we kind of cut through all the story stuff just so we get onto the meat of it, which is the gameplay. And also then if you want to play through yourself, then you can do it in your own time. So basically telling you there's 4 souls and then you get access to... See what I mean? Like, see?
You didn't provoke them at all, did you?
So I'm joining the Covenant. No,
You just happened to like wander wherever they were, and they just didn't like it. They took issue with it.
Yeah, basically. Right, so I'm gonna just run away. So yeah, you join a Covenant from him. But yeah, it's not a huge visual upgrade, but it looks... It's definitely like higher resolution, kind of high-grade textures, frame rate's a lot better. Yeah, it looks pretty. This area always looks beautiful. So we're going to head off to the first area.
I think those pigs just hate your shield. They want to play Bloodborne.
Probably, yeah. Right, let's go this way. Yeah, again, it's been a while, so I'm not sure if there's anything else to do there, but if we just plough on. So you haven't played Dark Souls 2, you played a bit of Dark Souls 1, is that right, Ben?
Yeah, I played about 10, 12 hours of Dark Souls 1, and it wasn't really for me, so I didn't bother with the second game.
Okay.
Yeah, it was kind of... It was you know, I found it quite frustrating a little, like in places. You know, I thought you were going to die there.
Almost.
Just, you know, I feel like parts of it felt a bit unfair. And also kind of a lot of the kind of core aspects of the game you actually dead.
I was meant to jump. I was going to say before when I started this video that one of my things was I wanted to get to the boss without dying. That was and beat the boss without dying. That was one of my challenges.
You didn't say that then.
Yeah, and that obviously wasn't possible. So I'm going to try and not die this time around. But yeah, I basically forgot to jump, which is quite common.
Yeah, speaking of dying, like the soul system, I also really kind of a huge fan of because it kind of punishes people who aren't very good at the game a lot more than people who are competent.
Yeah.
So
well, I think we discussed this when we were playing Bloodborne fairly recently, but I think there is that side to it, but I think it's a system that kind of encourages you to go back and try again, and then if you get that far, you get your souls back. It's not like a strict, like, right, you died, the things you gathered are lost completely. It gives you that second chance, and it gives you that enough of a nudge. But if you do die that second time, that is very frustrating.
Yeah, that's the thing though, because like I wasn't very good at Dark Souls. I was terrible at it, and even when I went back to the second time around, I was still, you know, dying.
Yeah.
Whereas people who are good at the game, even though they died first time, they would in theory be more likely. The chances of getting to retrieve their souls would be much significantly better.
Yeah, but that's kind of like the game is teaching you to be patient. I think this game generally is like a game of like taking your time, learning your surroundings. So yeah, that guy is new.
Which the one in the river.
So I'm gonna.
Have you seen that creature before? Like just anywhere in the game, or was it just
possibly? I can't remember. I'm not gonna interact with him though. That's for sure.
It's kind of interesting the timing of this actually, because it's coming out in the same sort of time as Bloodborne.
Yeah, on PS4 obviously. Yeah, I think it is maybe badly timed because it's coming after Bloodborne and everyone's playing that and really digging it and really excited by it. I think it could have done like the month 5 aside. It could have released either a month earlier or a month later, and it would have done better because I think just the attention, because they are very similar games. There's no doubt about that.
And they're quite long games as well.
Yeah.
Like it's not like something that's like I don't know, 10 hours long, and then you can move on to the next game. It'll probably take, a few weeks maybe.
Yeah.
How often.
Yeah, I agree, and they're quite demanding, and it's not. So it looks like that big guy is not going to bother me if I just continue what I'm doing. Right. So just getting a few souls up before I continue. So it looks like this enemy has less. No, they're still. Yeah, people are still here.
So what sort of builds or like what sort of character are you running with right now?
I kind of started with the warrior. I just basically go for a basic melee class. I don't really.
You're not a fan of like ranged or magic?
No, I don't know. I prefer getting up close and personal. I don't know. I don't really min max. I don't really. It's weird. Like I really enjoyed the first Dark Souls and played it a bunch, but I didn't go like too deep into kind of like character customization and like really delve into like creating a really high spec character or going after certain weapons. I just kind of enjoy playing it. I know that sounds really weird to say.
No,
very
I mean,
basic.
like, people play games differently,
Yeah. So.
I mean, I'm not usually oh dear, that's not good.
Yeah. I'm gonna.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm not I like the idea of min-maxing, but I usually don't have the patience to min-max because I like to like mainline a game more often than not. Whereas if you're min-maxing, you're probably more likely to kind of, do everything there is to do.
Yeah, weren't you trying to min-max Fire Emblem at one point? Did I?
I was, and then I just got bored.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how did that go?
It was, well, I have min-maxed Fire Emblem games in the past, but like Fire Emblem Awakening, the process of min-maxing was a bit more sort of time-consuming because you had to kind of change classes to get the skills that you want to change.
Yeah.
And each class you have to level up, 10, 15 levels. If you want to get the best sort of combination of skills, you might have to change classes, 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
And that's something that I just wasn't willing to go through to like do.
Yeah, pretty sure quickly explain what min-maxing is. It's basically you kind of have a character build that is designed to grow as best as possible and kind of give it the right circumstances to do that. I think I've forgotten something. I think I haven't got any potions. I don't know. It's been a while since I played the start of this game, so I need to actually. I don't know if someone gives you potions or not called potions.
Blood?
Flasks.
I think I've.
Yeah.
The game.
So there was a character, unless she's moved completely in this update. There she is. Right.
Are you Ormir, bearer of?
So again, just go quickly. There you go. Essence Flask.
Go on, he who king.
You just get the one.
For me, you will never seek their soul once you have so that
I think I get a few.
bearer of seek lest it.
Can I level up the souls I have? It might be quite handy. Nope. That's fine. So, interesting thing on PS4 is the inventory is on the touchpad.
Okay.
Like you didn't move it around with that, it's just that's how you access it. And if you press the pause or options button, you can then do various motions, right?
I take it they're more handy if you're playing like co-op or like if someone else comes into your world.
Yeah, definitely. Or just for boasting after you kill a hard boss. Comment. There you go. So let's head back. Yeah, you get Estus flask upgrades. Yeah, Dark Souls 2 generally. So if you got to a certain point and you thought obviously Dark Souls wasn't for you, and that's absolutely fine. But I think Dark Souls 2 is actually a lot more accessible.
Is it?
It's a very similar challenge. Like it's a very similar game generally, but I think it just seems a bit easier. And it's one of those things where it's like, well, I don't know if it's because I've played a lot of Dark Souls before, and maybe that's part of it. It's just that I just know how all these systems kind of work and how like to fight properly and or at least fight decently and play properly. I'm not terribly good at the game. But yeah, but I think it's generally like a bit more accessible than bosses. There's a lot more bosses in this game, and they're generally quite a lot easier. There's quite a few you can just blast through the first time, and not worry about too much. So
is that kind of disappointing in a way? Like if like beating a boss first time, like quite often.
Yeah, Yeah, a little bit, but it's cause I think a lot. But it's also quite nice sometimes because it feels like there's a great sense of triumph, and it is a rare thing that happens. But it happens more often in this game, and it just feels like a bit out of place because this is a game where the bosses are like the star of the show. There's a great deal of like repetition in doing them, and that's quite a satisfying process. So yeah, this bit is a bit tricky because they all kind of round on you. So, I remember this first time I played it was quite hard.
Oh, that's bad timing.
Yeah, I'd say it's terrible timing. So I need to. Oh god!
Oh dear.
This didn't happen when I usually do it.
Oh.
Wowzers. So I'm really good at this game.
Yeah, I can tell actually.
It's definitely.
I just, you know, it definitely shows that you've played a lot of this. You know, and completed the first game.
Yep.
Did you play Demon's Souls as well?
Yep. Yeah, that was an amazing game. Yeah, big fan. Playing through Bloodborne now. So I'm just gonna basically bez it past everyone if I can. So when actually playing Bloodborne, the stamina on Bloodborne's a lot higher, so you can actually run further than this game.
I guess that makes sense because it's more of an aggressive game, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it requires more, like, you know, of you slashing.
Yeah, it's definitely faster paced. Are they gonna? Yeah, I waited. That was my greed.
Don't know what happened there.
Someone firebombs from above.
Yeah.
There's a lot more enemies here than last time. Than when you went before the patch. This scholar patch. So I'm just gonna very quickly try and run through.
Oh jeez. Do they follow you through there as well?
We'll find out.
Guess maybe not.
Kind of.
Jeez. Some of them did anyway.
Yeah, there's a dude in here. A couple of guys in here.
I guess the one satisfying thing about min-maxing is, especially in game.
I've royally. I wouldn't say screwed myself, but
This is not good.
no.
If you get out of this alive, I would be really impressed.
If I just go around in a circle.
Oh dear.
Guy, yeah. There's definitely new enemies around here. There's just more of them. It's fine.
Okay.
There's a firebomber, I think, up here. At least there was before. Yeah. This is not the way probably to best play Dark Souls. It is if you're impatient like me.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, with min-maxing, like, the most satisfying thing about it is, like, seeing the numbers when you land an attack and it's, like, a ridiculously high number.
Yeah. There is a satisfying element to, like, feeling overpowered. So there's a bonfire here, and if I use that, I should be fine. These guys should disappear. Stay away, stay away, stay away.
You didn't get that.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
I feel like you didn't deserve that.
I mean, I did deserve it. That's the thing you learn with these sorts of games, actually, is that running is a big part of, like, the gameplay loop, because once you get to a boss, like, bosses are very, very rarely situated close to a bonfire, so you have to run a fair distance, and there's no point fighting all those enemies on the way.
Yeah.
Because the souls that you would accrue are lost pretty much every time. And it just takes forever, because some bosses take dozens of attempts, so there's no point fighting if you can avoid it. So yeah, first time you play these games, you don't want to do like what I just did, because you don't know where it is. But I knew.
But you're an expert at this game.
I wouldn't say an expert, but I played it before, and that's the thing with Souls games, is that you play each area so many times because you you die, or you have to be really cautious. Is that you just remember where everything is, and that's kind of really cool. Like, I think you learn more about these games, like their layouts and their enemy positions, than any other game, because you have to pay attention a lot more. and you have to practice and keep restarting over and over, and that's what makes them really interesting to play. So you kind of, when you replay the sections, you can blast through it because you're like, right, I know where these enemies are, etc., etc.
So I guess this leads me to my next question, in that with enemy placements being a little bit different, and like I guess, do you think that it's enough to kind of make it feel like a completely fresh sort of experience?
It's really hard to say. Like there's not enough like impressions online that I've read. I've literally started playing this. It's hard to say really.
Because they do a New Game Plus, is that right?
Yeah, you can kind of play over and get like use the souls of your bosses for then different weapons and that sort of thing. And that's a big draw of it. So for me personally, I'd rather have like a new game, not a new game plus, like a kind of a different playthrough for the original Dark Souls, because I think that's just generally a better game. It's a more inviting world to explore, and it's more interesting to kind of navigate and work your way around.
Yeah.
But no, I think again, Dark Souls 2 is still a fantastic game. I'm still actually working through the 360 version, so for me, I'm going to finish that first, and maybe if I want to get back to, if I want to replay this, then that's a compelling reason.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's better than most HD like remasters or HD ports to like next gen consoles, because there is a compelling reason to play through again, other than it looks better, you know.
Yeah.
So gotta give it credit for that. How effective those updates and how effective like all those new tweaks and additions are, I'm not sure. But yeah, I think the people who play Souls games, any little difference is going to be a big deal, I think. And part of the fun of it is like discovery and finding surprises. So they probably don't want to read too close into it because they want to actually play it through themselves and then discover these things themselves. And
yeah,
that's kind of neat. Yeah, I'm not getting many souls, so I'm trying to do some combat. Because I'm making decent time for the boss encounter.
Is the first boss easy to defeat? Or straightforward?
Yeah, relatively straightforward.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to be...
Not overly confident?
Yeah, I'm not going to say I'm going to defeat it quite easily, just because I'm not terribly good. As much
doable, but... You know...
Yeah, as much as I enjoy these games, I wouldn't say I'm great. Yeah, timing wise is a bit of a shame. I think a lot of people have been really up for replaying this game, especially with all the changes if Bloodborne wasn't around. But that's also the good thing, is like if you're a PC or an Xbox One owner, there isn't a Bloodborne available to play.
Yeah.
So maybe that's kind of a moot point for most people.
Bloodborne was delayed slightly, wasn't it?
No, I think that was
the actual release.
Yeah, that was always on track. That's a rare game today where it's just kind of it released as advertised. This guy is new. And these guys are really tough. Do I want to take it on? Are they explosive barrel? Because basically, let's find out. These guys, a good way to defeat them is that they kind of like, they charge and then they explode. Body barrels. Probably not, so I'm just going to ignore him.
It almost seems like a mini boss.
Yeah, he's quite tough. Now there is, there you go. I was about to say, is this the same here? Where there's a kind of like a proper mini boss that drops. So this guy is tough.
Ooh.
Yeah, you don't want to.
Can only survive one more hit.
Yep. So I'm out of there. But that's good because I've got an Estus flask upgrade, so I can upgrade that back at Majora in a bit. Okay, life jam. Definitely come down. Cool. Right. So they're okay. I think that's the way ahead, but basically if you chat to this guy who is Peter, I can't remember how to pronounce his name, comedian Sharalovich.
Right, yeah.
This is him, his character now.
Can you attack him?
You
can attack any NPC?
You can attack any NPC, his name is Pate, and he basically kind of tells you to go through here if you want, and there's some rewards, some
In my
Deadly
limited time with the first Dark Souls, there was at one point where I accidentally attacked an NPC, but I didn't know he was an NPC because
Yeah.
I was, fighting enemies before that point, and that annoyed me because because I had to kill him.
Yeah.
And apparently, and I looked I can't remember who that character was, but I remember looking online, and he was quite he gives like an item or something. Oh jeez.
Yeah. This is like kind of an ambush. Like I don't think he puts the ambushes you. He kind of warns you like, do you want to do this? And the answer is probably no. If you're clever, but I'm not. So far, so okay. But yeah, the big guy we saw earlier with the big hammer.
Yeah.
He's in that courtyard, from what I remember. So that's like a placement change. That's kind of interesting. Like, it's actually fun to see what's different here. There's not like huge differences, but it's enough to. So I think one of these guys has that ring that he's talking about. So while these guys are easily. Yeah, in Souls games or From Software games, you want to take on enemies one at a time. That's why I've been running, because most of the time it's like, okay, there's like 8 of them.
Yeah.
And yeah, because of the way animation priority works, if you get attacked by one of them, your animation stops, you can't roll away, and then another guy attacks, and it's just like a chain of death, basically, that you can't get out of it.
Ouch.
Yeah.
So those life gems you're using, they're consumable, right?
Yeah, it's because I've... okay, so my sword is broken. I haven't actually looked at my inventory, and I don't think I equipped the ring I picked up right at the start. It's part of my character class, which is quite foolish. Really quick. Yeah, I'm not very good at... Probably people watching this, I'm not very good at doing critical attacks. I'm rubbish with the timing and stuff, so I tend to just hand back and chip away. So I think one of them does one of them have the ring, or have I just missed it completely, or further on down? Either way, I think everyone need the souls. Good to do a level upgrade before the boss. Okay, I got an axe. That's good. It's better. Yep. No shield upgrades. Armor doesn't look any better. Rings. So that raises max MP. Cool. Good.
How far off are you from the boss now?
Not far at all, actually. If I don't die, maybe 5 minutes, if that. It's fairly close. So yeah, making decent time. We can take them on. Why not?
You can probably have a couple of stabs at the boss.
Yeah. Thing is, I've skipped a few side areas and a few optional things. Like I say, Dark Souls 2 is kind of like talking about the structure earlier. Like there is a lot of branching. There is a lot of like deviation from the main path. There is a lot to see and explore. But I think the overall structure is a bit more kind of segmented in like this is this area.
Be careful. It allows
That's just teaching you online stuff.
Well, I hope. Be careful.
Okay. So this is the guy I fought earlier? Yeah. Just chilling down here now. Very nice. Now this is... See those guys? They're all behind an arrow trap, so if you go in there, you get shot. One of the many fun things you learn about this game. Ooh. Yeah, bit of an ambush.
Oh dear.
So, I know the way I think I should just sprint it, actually. We've come a bit of a long way to die right now. But yeah, this is all tweaked and changed. So, something I was trying to research before this is like these changes that have happened to this game as a result of like the first, the Scholar of the First Sin, is like whether you can play the original game, and I don't know if that's the case. I've been looking into it. Because it'd be, I don't know, I'm always interested, like, generally with the preservation of games, and, like, say an online game changes quite a lot, how players can play, say, the original version or something. Because I think that's quite an interesting
Yeah.
thing.
I've always liked when Halo Anniversary happened, there was always a setting to go back to the original.
Yeah.
And I press a button.
Yeah, certainly. I think the layout, unless I'm being forgetful, I can't. I don't know if the layout's slightly different. Why are they attacking? It's probably a story reason.
Yeah.
I got this, Ben. Don't sweat it. I know what I'm doing. I'm gonna go up here. Yeah, it looks like this layout is different, so I'm gonna actually explore it. Have a proper look.
I tell you what, I know cheat codes aren't a thing anymore, but I would love it if there was a cheat code on this game where you turn all enemies into killer pigs.
Yeah. Well, the PC version, I think has unofficial mod support. I'm not sure if it is official. Yeah, you could do that on the PC version. Why the hell not? Bad idea.
So yeah.
I saw the chance.
Got greedy.
Yeah. Okay. But I'm gonna go back round. Kill some of these guys, I think. Roll. There's a guy here. Is there? Alas, nothing happened. Story of my life. Yeah, that was inevitable.
Yeah, I was expecting that.
Yeah, so things have changed, and that's keeping me on my toes, which is quite good. But I wouldn't say it's necessarily more difficult, it's just different.
Right.
So it's not necessarily like they're up to the difficulty. Yeah, they're just switching things around, and that's kind of cool. So yeah, if you're unfamiliar with Souls games, you basically go back to the last bonfire. The souls that you've accrued are gone. They're basically sat where I died, and you have to go back and fetch them. So let's do that right now. So yeah, I imagine it's this element then that you don't like. It's like you died at a place and you have to go all the way back.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just. I mean, it's something that's probably wouldn't be an issue because like Shovel Knight did the same thing.
Okay.
And that wasn't. I think it did the same thing. Yeah, it did the same thing. And in terms of like you lose a percentage of your money.
Yeah.
And you have to go back to the way you died, and it was fine there because I didn't feel like that was an overly difficult game. I mean, like the Souls games are meant to be difficult, and I think that's probably why it feels a bit more sort of. It feels a bit more exaggerated, I guess, in this instance.
Yeah.
But then, weirdly enough, Shovel Knight actually had the opposite problem in that it was so easy to get money that like losing money wasn't actually a big deal.
Was it the same thing where like if you don't get it the next time it's gone?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But you know, like it was one of those things where like by 2/3 of the way through, I actually bought everything I needed to buy.
Right.
So now at that point, I just didn't care about dying, which is the opposite problem, isn't it?
Yeah. No, I can sort of see that. Yeah, with this you always want to. You basically need to kind of like use souls for going upgrades and leveling up and all that sort of thing. It's a good idea too. Is that enemy stuck in the tree, or is that just a?
I think it's a spear.
Just a spear, right?
I think so anyway.
I should have got my Estus flask upgraded when I had the chance. Come on, lower your shield. Sloppy there.
I thought that would be easier because it was just one-on-one, but then I guess the.
I'm just not very good at this game. So let's. Last time it happened. So I think this is new.
That tree.
Yeah, I think you come back to these later in the game and do some of them. Not sure what though. So if I got there, that's bad news because I couldn't do it. So I might try and take some of these guys on just one at a time. But that said, there is raging fire down above. So this was a pathway up there, can't go there. But I probably missed the first time around. There's usually a doorway around here. There you go. I was just being very observant.
No.
Yep.
Oh no, this is not great.
I'm trying to attack and thus keep them away. So basically, I just need to run through here, go through the mist.
That reminds me of the Capra Demon, where the two dogs just pinned you down and just...
Yeah. Yeah. I think with Dark Souls in general, like you're right, it is a more difficult game. I don't think it's like a really hard game. I think it's just there is a certain way it needs to be played, and once you kind of get into the mindset of how it wants you to play, then you can just play it like a normal game almost. Like it's still challenging, like all games, I suppose. Well, it depends obviously on the game, but the game is designed to kind of challenge you, right? And not frustrate. And I think Dark Souls gets to a level where once you kind of understand and you get a good handle of how you want to play it, how the game wants you to play it, then it kind of like levels out. Like I remember the original Dark Souls, there's a bit of the game towards the end where there's 4 bosses you have to kill before you do the last boss.
Yeah.
And like that's fairly plain sailing, even though it's probably some of the hardest bits in the game. Just because you know how, just because you're quite more confident in how to play and what works for you. So it's just a lot more enjoyable.
It's just a bit of a learning curve, really. Then.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's. I think going back to what we were saying earlier, like I think Dark Souls 2 is a lot easier to approach. I'm not sure if it is partly because if you played a lot of Dark Souls, you know what you're doing almost. Like there are changes, there are differences that are, some are key, some are minor, but all change the way you actually approach the game. But it's essentially a very similar game. So I want to recover and then go through it. Come on.
No.
No, this doesn't want me to blast through it. That's fine. That's cool. I swear that was a normal door last time. Maybe I'm just being forgetful. But yeah, I can't rush through this. I need to actually do it properly.
No, probably not.
Yeah, it's fine. I reckon we can do the boss.
Yeah?
Yeah. We're basically giving ourselves an hour time limit with this, and that's doable. I'd like to think.
Do you want to upgrade your Estus Flask?
Yep. That will help me quite a bit. Travel to Majula. That's another thing with the original Dark Souls. There was fast travel, but you don't get it through say like that point in the game I was on about, where it kind of splits into 4 bosses and then in 4 different areas.
Yeah, because I never remember fast travel at all when I was playing the first one.
And that's what makes it a lot more, I think, fun to explore, because the way the world had to be designed was that it had to be accessible by foot. Like there was no like.
It felt like one world.
Yeah.
Yes.
And because there was no fast travel, you had to like think, okay, how to get back through this, and the game would accommodate that by doing some really clever shortcuts and just once you get through an area, like you have this like revelation, like, oh wow, I can actually go through this door and it links back to this other area. And people when they got the PC version, I think they exported the map into like a low letter and they pulled it back and they actually saw that the game was designed as it was, because there's parts of the game where you're going through, say like on a side of a cliff and you look into the distance and there's a castle, but it's actually in the world, everything is in relation to where it should be. And I think a few games probably do some trickery with that, like if there's a area far away, it actually isn't there, but it really is in Dark Souls, and that's
really cool.
I think there's like a hidden area that's visible from a late game area, and that is actually in relation to that other area. If all that kind of makes sense. I mean, that's really cool. That's kind of like that shows that this is a cohesive world.
I like the idea of fast travel, but I think Dark Souls, it seems to be a really good example, a counterpoint against fast travel in a way. Because I feel like there are some games nowadays that are kind of over relying on it.
Yeah. Even when I play things like GTA, I preferred because I basically just get a taxi whenever I can in that game, and as a result, I kind of feel like the later GTA games, I got less of an identity with them and like familiarity, just because I am basically skipping through it all.
Yeah.
Which is a bit of a shame. At the same time, it's like, well, so I've just basically lost all my souls, which is quite frustrating. But yeah, it's like times at a premium. I just want to get to the next mission and do what I'm doing, really.
Because that's the thing, like games are bigger, like the gaming worlds are bigger and bigger and bigger all the time, because they've got better, more powerful consoles and they're more ambitious. So to some extent, fast travel is necessary, because but yeah, it comes at a cost, I guess.
So I'm gonna try and level up. So you get items in the game like consumable souls.
Were they in the first Dark Souls, like these sorts of?
Yeah, there were quite a few. I should have used both of those.
I remember collecting a lot of items, but I never really used them because I didn't know what they did.
Yeah, so I was hoping that would get me over 900, and it hasn't. So I could lose these. I probably will lose these, and we'll just see how it goes from there. Yeah, there were, but it's quite handy if you because towards the late game you want to actually get decent weapons, so you need a lot of souls, and you can obviously grind for that. There's some good spots in the game where you can just kind of do a loop of enemies, and but they're an easier way if well, actually I can't be bothered. I'm just gonna all these souls that I've picked up, I might as well actually spend them and use them right now.
Ouch.
Yeah. I should probably also say I've been going on about how the first Dark Souls was better. I should say that this game is really, really good. It's a very it's just a different structure, which I think personally that's why I liked the first Dark Souls game. I love the first Dark Souls game is because that structure and that exploration element was really, really interesting.
It was our number 2 game of 2014. I think.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's just it's again it's more probably of a personal thing in terms of why I much prefer the first one, but yeah, there is. I mean, the increase in bosses is a thing that people kind of made the bosses feel maybe a little less special. But there's still tons. It's still incredible boss design, incredible world design, and sorry, just trying to concentrate. Yeah, it's still an all-encompassing game. It's a game you really have to kind of pay attention to. You can't really just play it absentmindedly. It's something you have to really kind of commit yourself to, as just demonstrated by me not talking or trying to illustrate a point. Yeah, and there's just few games like the Souls games. And as you saw with Lords of the Fallen last year, you can it's a hard game to imitate. It's a hard style to imitate, I think. So this is how you're meant to play the game. You're meant to actually take your time, kill the enemies one by one, pull them away, instead of just Pied Pipering and bringing them all in a massive line and then getting slaughtered by them. Yeah, these guys are trickier with the shields. There you go.
So is it me, or do you have lower maximum health? Maybe I'm reading the
yeah, that was a change with Dark Souls 2. So amongst there's a bunch of changes with Dark Souls 2, from Dark Souls 1 to Dark Souls 2. And one of them is that every time you die, your health drops.
Right.
And you get that back by.
Whoa. I had a bad feeling that would happen as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember as I was going up that sword, I was thinking, right, there is a catch to this, and I can't remember what the catch was, and that was it. Yeah, so that's one of the changes. Every time you die, your maximum health drops down. And I think there's an item that allows you to bulk that back up.
Right.
What that item is, I can't remember. Let me quickly look. Basically, I shouldn't use it now. If I've only got a limited amount of them, I should use it before the boss, because then I want it to bounce back up.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the changes they made. Yeah, example of teasing other areas, and you can go down there if you want. But those enemies are really tough, so don't. Unless you're particularly good at the game, which I'm not.
I like when they do that, when areas that are available in theory later on, but you can explore them when you're under-leveled.
Yeah, yeah, that's a really, really cool thing. And I think they are gated quite heavily in the Souls games. You still need items or certain story things to happen, but you can tease. It does tease here's the periphery of this area. These enemies are really hard, and it's a very kind of subtle way of saying you shouldn't be here. Come back later when you're a lot more powerful. That's just just good level design.
I was complaining about the soul system, making things a bit too difficult for rubbish people, but I'd probably argue that the kind of dwindling health is probably hurts you a bit more actually.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Because if you die several times over, and you want to save that item that boosts your health back up, it's kind of It feels a bit needless. I mean, maybe I haven't played it, so but it's just my sort of opinion from the outside anyway.
Yeah, no, I can see that. I think it just adds like an extra layer of challenge of that, the same way that how Bloodborne has this system where like with blood vials, and that's a depleting resource that you can restock up if you kill enemies, but the more you like grind a certain area and and you probably like use health to regenerate. So use these vials to regenerate your health. You have less of them over time, and it's the same with your health here, right? The more you play an area, the more you die, the lower your health gets. And yeah, I think that's just like a layer of difficulty that the game has added. It's one of those things where like all the Souls games, it doesn't tell you really. They probably did tell us, but I wasn't really reading properly, or I skipped through the tutorial section, so I can't remember if it does tell you explicitly. But there's a lot of systems in this game it doesn't come out and tell you, and that's part of the allure of it, I think. But also I can see why that isn't for everyone. That is also like quite frustrating to come into this game and be like, well, I've died a bunch of times, why is my health like 3/4 of the way full now?
Yeah. I feel like when we started this 40 minutes ago or whatever, and there was that kind of opening area, like it's like a tutorial area.
Yeah.
And you can skip it if you wanted to.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a good compromise.
Yeah, I think so too. I think
if they could explain some of the more mechanics a bit more to people who want that explained to them, then that might be nice.
Yeah, absolutely. Alright, dead. So let's try and draw them one at a time.
I think you're running out of time now.
Run out of time?
To reach the boss.
Nah, I've got this. I'll be able to get at least one attempt in easily. It's really not far from here.
Oh, right, is it?
Basically, do you know when you come on the ladder after the bonfire?
Yeah.
That's that area there.
Oh,
okay. It's like through the other side of the gate. So you just got to open that gate. Again, talking about kind of gating areas off. Like literally, that is a case of right. Is that anyone done? Yep. Yeah, you just often it's like you just need to go back through this area the other side, and that's how you access it again. So there you go. So if I open this, the boss is down there on that lift. So what I'm going to do is, do I need to go back?
Hold that thought.
I'm trying to think, is there a reason for me to? I can just try the boss now, actually. Yeah, because it's the same bonfire. I ain't got to activate it or anything. Did I recover my souls from last time?
I don't think so.
Or did I just die? I think I just died quite easily.
You fell off that. Oh, was it when you were firebombed, or was it when you?
Yeah. I think I fell off the sword, then was firebombed. That's when I lost all the souls I spent. Basically, this video, even though I'm saying like, oh, I'm really into Souls games and stuff, this is like a good lesson of how not to play these games, because I'm very kind of like I'm just blasting through it as quick as I can. I'm not really taking my time. So don't copy what I'm doing.
It's basically how I'm playing Spelunky right now. Like, if I know I can get far, but I try to like take shortcuts here and there.
Yeah.
Or like, get not complacent, but lazier, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's it. So this is the boss.
So what's this thing called?
This is called the Last Giant.
The Last Giant. He's a giant. Is that an eye or a mouth?
I don't know.
Or nose?
Some sort
nostril? An ear?
I have no idea. It's pretty gross whatever it is. Right.
So what's your tactic here?
Is not to die. To try and dish out as much damage as I can. Again, as with the rest of the game, I'm going to excuse myself up front and just say it's been a while since I played this, so exact strategies forgetful about.
You do it. I reckon you do it.
So
good start.
You find with a lot of bosses in the Souls games is basically you have to get to one of their sides and kind of stay there. It's kind of like a weak spot. Obviously that varies dramatically according to what boss you're fighting, but
a lot of damage.
Yeah, he does. Bless him. So is he gonna leap or something?
That was a good roll.
Thanks. I'm kind of trapped here. I need to go around. Yeah, if you get caught, it's quite powerful. Wait. Where's my shield gone?
That's a good question.
Did I accidentally unactivate that? Is it unactivate a word? Disable?
Would it be handy in this fight?
There you go. I must have actually pressed the D-pad. Yes. Yeah. In obviously it depends on your playstyle, but generally you want a shield up as much as you can. I think it's like a balance of stamina. So if you have your shield up, your stamina doesn't replenish as quick or at all. So you have to kind of like think, okay, at this point I'm safe, so I can lower my shield, replenish my stamina.
Oh, that makes that's cool actually.
So that's a constant.
I guess
that's a constant thing to worry about, and that's what makes combat particularly interesting. So you have to balance that and think, okay, am I safe? Yes, replenish stamina, because stamina governs attacking, it governs rolling. Yeah,
I guess conceptually that's not too far off from like shooters where you got to be in cover to recover your health, or you can stay out in the open and risk, being hit.
Yeah, basically, I think that's quite similar. So I don't know if you noticed then a second ago, the shield actually give me actually just saved me from getting health damage completed. It actually took that for me, so that's why you want to shield up as much as you can.
Oh. I think it's going to be quite close. You've only got 2 life gems left, but you're making good progress.
Yeah, doing alright. Not to tempt fate or anything. So my stamina is really low, so I need to hang back, drop the shield. That is not helpful.
No.
It's basically see the stamina's gone, so that took the brunt of the damage, which is good. So I need to drop back quite a bit. I don't think I can change weapons. I'm gonna have to try and. It should last until the end of this boss.
I hope so, for your sake.
So I'm gonna do the other foot as well. He's backed himself in a corner, so I'm just gonna wait until he does something.
Oh no.
Yeah, that is not good.
Can you still attack with it? Or is it like completely broken and you'll just 0 damage?
Let's find out. I think you can't really do a lot with it. Yeah, it's gonna take a bit longer. It's annoying because if that was working, it probably would have.
It's would have been close to killing it. No.
Just awful timing. I see I can't use this weapon.
You're gonna have to use the broken thing, aren't you? It's coming.
Yep.
You're almost there anyway. It's just
That's a bit. It's not
better.
great.
That's a bit better.
Come on,
The other one did like 12. This one's doing 30. One more. Oh no! What are you doing?
Is that it? Is that done?
I think
that is done. Yes.
Jeez. Wow.
There you go. That's a tense battle.
Yeah.
There you go.
I thought you screwed up there.
I thought I screwed up, but that's not bad. I say first time I've done this boss before, but yeah, that's. You feel that adrenaline, Ben?
Yeah, well.
That's Dark Souls. That's.
I like the idea of watching someone play it more than playing it myself, I think.
Yeah, this is a really good game to like just YouTube and stream and watch. Yeah, phew, man. So that was pretty good.
I'm worn out now.
Yeah, that was quite draining. But yeah, I did it. And there is, even when like as bosses later in the game, even when you get their movesets down, you know exactly what you're doing. that tension, like as that bar drops, even though probably their movesets are exactly the same, it's just like that mental thing of like, right, I could finish this boss if I go in and be really aggressive, but a single attack could wipe me out. And it's that constant push and pull. That's what makes Dark Souls bosses so much fun. It's like I just need to hold my nerve, I need to be patient. Like there's a few times there towards the end I could have just rushed in and died, and I almost did towards the end when he stomped on me. Yeah, so that was fun. That was cool. I think but that's probably a good time to wrap it up. So that's Dark Souls 2, Scholar of the First Sin. This is available on PS4, Xbox One, and PC as a Windows Direct 10 11 upgrade. I think the update is also available on the 360 and PS3 versions of the game and the original PC version. So if you have those, then you can access all the different changes and stuff as well. But yeah, if you want all the kind of DLC packed in, if you want all the visual upgrades and stuff, then buy it on a new system. So that's that. It's out now. In Europe, at least, I think it's April. It's in the teens, like April 10th or something. And it's April 10th.
Would it be a Tuesday?
In the US, I believe so. Yes, it's probably next. Well, it's very, very soon. But yeah, this is Dark Souls. Ben, thank you very, very much for joining me.
Thanks for showing me this game, Matt.
Yeah, hopefully you enjoyed watching it. Hopefully you kind of see the appeal of Dark Souls a bit more now.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah?
Yeah, I can see your point of view a bit from your, yeah.
Bit more clearly.
I probably won't play it still, but
yeah, that's fine. Yeah, and again, like this is not a series or a type of game for everyone, and that's fine. It's I wouldn't say it's a love or hate game, but like if you really like it, you're really into it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's that. So yeah, Ben, thank you very much for joining me, and we'll see everyone again very, very soon.